Can you find the brilliant in the banal, the magical in the mundane? Can you find the incredible in the insipid? And most importantly, can you still hear my voice as my dog's claws tip-tap or paws across the wooden floor? So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast, and inspired by a number of different sources today, not least Monica Eastway, whose posts on the importance of awe caught my eye, and a podcast that I hosted yesterday for my personal podcast, which is called The Sovereign Human Show, and it delves deeply into things like alternative history. And yesterday I was on a podcast with a couple of researchers exploring alternative approaches to energy and indeed how these may have been present in the past. And one of the inescapable conclusions we arrived at was just how central the role of consciousness is and was. And indeed, that one way to frame our reality is that we are the spontaneous genius of God. And whether or not you have any kind of religious affiliation or not, my invitation would be just to be with that phrase for a moment, because we could take out the word God and just put like, we are the spontaneous genius of life. We are the spontaneous genius of the energy that connects and creates all things. Spontaneous genius. So, of course, in ancient Greek and Roman tradition, the idea was that genius was something that was separate. We didn't have genius. We didn't have genius. We were not geniuses. We had a genius, which was that we had a, you might even say like a higher self or spirit or guiding muse. And in the ancient Greek tradition, this was called the daimon, which was almost like our higher self. That, of course, then when the Inquisition and the kind of Christianization of the Western world began to occur, this notion of having some kind of higher guidance that could be seen as separate to God was obviously absolutely stamped out, and therefore daimon became demon, right? But originally, the meaning was that some kind of like higher power or guiding force, guiding entity. So, what does this have to do with awe? Well, that if we are the spontaneous genius of God or life, then think about those moments when you encounter genius. And you might even find yourself exclaiming, oh my God, wow, that was genius. Oh, that's absolutely genius. Or they're a genius, right? That there is some kind of experience of awe bound up with the experience of genius. And ultimately, if we are going to, continue to dig into this, it won't be long before we start to mention flow states again. Those moments when everything aligns into an experience of complete absorption and satisfaction. And that could be when you are surfing and you first catch that wave and all things come together. You are both the movement and the wave and the movement of the surfboard and the awareness of yourself experiencing all of those things simultaneously, spontaneously. It could equally be when you are engaged in incredible conversation with a group of people and ideas that are fresh and new and novel and innovative are just flowing because you are all so deeply tuned into each other. And that someone else coming along might describe those ideas as genius. But you were there to witness their spontaneous outpouring. And the reason this is so important particularly in our present time, is that these experiences of awe, of flow, of wonder, of genius, they are the great experiences of life. They are the defining moments of our lives. The ones that when we look back or when we connect with friends, they're very often the ones we are talking about. And therefore they are the anathema, the antithesis to the fear and the rage and the hate and the violence. That if we are to find a way forward that is not one of persecution, of victimization, then it is in the cultivation of these experiences of awe and flow that we have an opportunity. So, today, going forward, and this weekend, what can you do to cultivate awe? What can you do to bring wonder into your life? And what can you do to remember and experience that you are the spontaneous genius of God? And of course, for God, insert whatever word you want in there that works. The reality is that you are a magnificent being. One who is capable of incredible love, creativity, joy, kindness. And what might be possible? What beauty, what love, what care, what ecstasy might be possible if you orient yourself and your life from that context and perspective. That you are magnificent and kind and loving and joyful, and that you deserve kindness and wonder and love and joy. And that your best way to receive those things is to be kind and loving and wondrous and joyful. So how can you give and receive those things today, tomorrow, this weekend? Because more than ever, so needed.